Hello students, it's Mr. Weaver. Today I am going to do a little mini lecture about this no red ink topic called components of the sentence. There are really 5 things that you need to know to do well in this particular lesson that you did a diagnostic quiz over. 1 is an independent clause, 2 is a dependent clause, 3 is the span boys, which are coordinating conjunctions, 4 is the swabbies, which are subordinating conjunctions, and 5 is the thamos, which are conjunctive adverbs. Let's go one at a time. First, let's talk about an independent clause. An independent clause is basically a sentence that is a complete thought in itself. Now, you can have a sentence that is made up of independent clause combined with other independent clauses, combined with dependent clauses, and we have terms for those as English teachers called simple, compound, complex, compound, complex, all these different things. You don't really have to know all that terminology, which I like about no red ink. All you need to know is what an independent clause is and what a dependent clause is and how to combine them. So, with independent clause, let me give you an example. I went to the store. It's a complete thought. I could have a much longer one. After having lots of fun in class today with my fellow students, I went to the store. It's still just an independent clause, but it's a complete thought. Now, I need to teach you that you can combine 2 independent clauses together with words like and, or, yet, for. So I could say, I had a great time teaching, and I went to the store. There, you have 2 independent clauses put together. But then there are times when you put a word at the beginning of an independent clause and it makes it dependent. And that's where we come to the swabbies. But to take an independent clause and make it into a dependent one way to do that is to use the swabbies, which are words like since, when, as, because, if, but there's a bunch more besides those. Those are the ones that they kind of focus on in no red ink. When you put one of those words at the beginning of an independent clause, it makes it dependent. Let me give you an example. Because I went to the store. Aren't you expecting something to come before or after? Because I went to the store. I was out of milk. Because I went to the store, I wasn't out of milk. Okay, then you have a complete sentence. So you have to combine dependent clauses with independent ones. Let me give you another example. If I went to the store, what? I would be late getting home. I added an independent clause to the dependent. That's what swabbies do. Okay? So when you see a swabby, they're called subordinated conjunction. When you see that, it's kind of a trigger that, aha, I have a dependent clause. There's some other ones, some other words too called relative pronouns, things like that, which, and who, whom, whomever, whoever, that you can also take and make into dependent clauses. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is these conjunctive adverbs that are in your lesson. These are words like therefore, however, moreover, and these words are, there's 2 functions you can do with them. One, you can just take 2 independent clauses and put them together with a conjunctive adverb. I was late getting home. However, my wife didn't mind. There, I have 2 independent clauses. I was late getting home. My wife didn't mind. I'm combining them with the conjunctive adverb, however. And so when you do that, the punctuation is kind of strict. It's semicolon, conjunctive adverb, comma, which we'll learn in another lesson. You can also just kind of throw them in. You could say something like, I was, however, late getting home. When you do that, it's still a conjunctive adverb, but you're throwing it into the middle of a sentence. You're interrupting the sentence with a conjunctive adverb, and you can do that. So those are the lessons I have for you today. Hopefully that'll help you as you are going through No Red Ink and trying to figure out these components of the sentence, what they mean, how they're put together. Okay? So for independent clause, complete thought. Dependent clause, incomplete thought, usually starting with a SWABI or who, whom, that, which, etc.